friends, I am the captain.
And I'm Robert.
And Robert has just had to pop out for a moment to solve a crisis.
Yes.
So being professional and under the time constraints that we are, Robert's stunt double, sorry, not Robert, Robert's stunt double,
Robert,
has stepped into the breach to finish the Tone City pedal demo, which the only even reason we're doing this Tone City pedal demo is because in the one that we did before, Rob liked every single pedal so much, he literally went, can I try all the other ones? So we said, okay, we'll do that next. And then he buggered off. So I don't even know. I hope Robert likes these anyway. If you want to know about the concept of Tone City, go and watch the part 1 video for this where we talk about a bit more about what they are. All you really need to know is they are fine and dandy and really good and bloomin' affordable. So Black Tea is the first one. Black Tea is a Vox AC style crunch kind of pedal.
Do you like black tea? Like to drink?
I do actually. Do you know what? I have been drinking TikTok tea for the last probably year. Which is a caffeine-free beverage that you drink either with or without milk, but I drink it without.
Fair play. So yeah, good. This is appropriate.
Holy shit. Do you realise that 76% of everybody that started watching this video has now switched it off?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get a clean tone.
Okay.
Play some Bryan Adams or something. It's got that nice chimey kind of roar that you sort of get from a really heavily pushed kind of Voxy amp. You know, we could play some Brian May. Great.
It does.
Throaty.
It really is.
And now just play anything that you feel inspired by while I'll fiddle with the knobs.
All right, fiddle with the knob. Fiddle with the knob. I like that one.
Yeah, so that's going in the good pile.
Certainly is.
Okay, put the amp on standby, play some interlude music, and do you want a phaser next?
Phaser. Yeah, why not?
Phaser. Okay, so unsurprisingly, the Tone City Summer Orange is a sort of, I guess, a Phase 90 kind of vibe. Although it has a little bit, it's got a feedback control on here, so it'll do a little bit of flange if that is your thing. So again, play some funky music, white boy.
Okay.
Superb. Now, of course, classic phaser-driven tones would be, I suppose, I don't know, a bit of Satch or a bit of Van Halen. If we go to,
can we
let's see what happens if we press the switch, and do we get dirty? Ready?
Yeah.
not a lot of you knew that Satch actually played on that Lenny Kravitz album.
Did he really?
No.
Oh.
No, I was just thinking because I thought you were going to play some Satch or Van Halen, and you just played some Lenny Kravitz instead.
Sorry.
That's all right. So that's a kind of a nice pedal. Again, very, very affordable. I'll just show you again what I mean about the flanger thing. So if we go back to a clean tone.
All right.
If I drive the feedback control heavily, you'll see it goes sort of flangey, you know. And if I take the feedback control off, it goes more phasery. One very affordable summer orange, probably not a dissimilar price to actually buying a basket full of oranges. So let's have, let's go from one fruit to another, from a summer orange to a Kaffir lime. Oh, pardon me.
A what?
Kaffir lime.
Kaffir. What is a Kaffir lime? Is it a?
I think it's a herb or a spice or something. Like I think it's like a leaf that you would put in certain foods, but it might not be. Delia Smith, if you're watching, please tell us what a Kaffir lime is. But this pedal, now this was a weird one. I struggled to get some tones out of this, so I'm hoping Rabir will rescue me here, because this pedal produces like a driven and a clean sound at the same time, layered on top of each other. And you can adjust the sort of, the amount of gain over the clean sort of tone. On its own, I thought it sounded odd, but I've read up that apparently with a little bit of a crunchy tone, it might just...
Yeah, it's one of those pedals that kind of lends itself to being in front of a crunch signal or a mild pushed clean sort of thing.
So you don't get that sort of over...
It's just
double
separation, yeah. Because you don't want clean with this like distant distortion in the background, because it's just not very usable, is it?
So let's try it with a clean sound, so you'll hear what I mean with the sort of the clean elements of the pedal, and then we'll just switch the thing on, just crunch, yeah. So here it is, clean, completely clean.
Okay. Woo!
Yeah. It sounds okay. It actually reminded me a bit of like, I don't know, early Rolling Stonesy kind of.
It's more like a really cranked amp, isn't it?
Yeah.
A clean amp as opposed to.
Yeah. It's that kind of, as you rightly say, it's just a cranked old kind of amplifier, isn't it? So, but I thought we got some more usable tones out of this. So if I turn this off now and we just pull the sort of the crunch knob out on the amp. Might need a smidgen more, mightn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit too much verb.
Well, Rob loves a bit of reverb,
doesn't he?
So, okay, so imagine this is your rhythm tone and you were just looking for a pedal to sort of give you some lead tones. Here we go, or fatten it up. So. I get that, because it's not... Sometimes when you put a drive pedal over a crunchy kind of channel, you just get this sort of mush and compression thing. Whereas this is...
Wait a minute.
Look, he's back!
I wouldn't normally barge in on a video.
Hello, Pablo!
You all know who Pablo is.
Where is
This
he?
is
There he is.
this is my prototype Ghost Fret. We're making it in this colour, but not with the gloss, because
Wow.
the gloss actually did some things that I wasn't particularly massively loving, like a bit of stickiness. But that sounded great.
It sounded alright, didn't it?
I thought we should put this through it.
Well, then you should sit here and take the throne.
All of the Chapman Ghost Frets that you've seen anywhere in use up to this point are prototypes, and the final ones will not quite be the same as anything
Yeah,
that you've
for
seen.
example, we're not having Seymour Duncan pickups, they're going to be Chapman pickups.
Yeah.
And they're actually going to be branded Chapman for the first time.
Yeah, but if you do want to, one of the things that we have agreed is the price, at least, of the guitars, and we have agreed the spec. I'm just not entirely sure we've actually released it to anybody yet. And I know, Roy, you have released it on the forum, haven't you?
Yeah, I put the spec on the forum
So,
for those of you who actually go to my forum.
So we know what the spec's going to be. I'm just saying it's not going to be exactly the same as any of the guitars that you've perhaps seen Rob using just yet. But anyway,
That's
enough
what
about
prototypes-
Ghost Frets. Let's talk about. Are you back in the video now, or are you?
Only for this pedal.
It took me a while to find the sweet spot there, but I think
But there's
we kind of
always
found
one
it.
there somewhere,
Yeah.
like every woman. That's good. I'm going to go back again.
Okay.
And maybe I'll leave this guitar for Beer to play with a little bit.
Okay.
Pah.
Rob, say. Oh, it's dirty!
That's a lovely guitar.
Dirty!
I must admit, as nice as it is to play and it sounds, I can't play it really sat down.
Yeah, strapped in.
It's because of this. I'm like,
I'm just going to say one thing.
Dirty!
We'll plug the Paulie Smith back in. You know, we're a equal opportunities firm here. We're happy to support any brand of guitar. Sweet creams are made of this. That's what we're going to try next. Can you pop you on standby? So the Sweet Cream is the least driven of all the pedals in the.
what's
in
it
the
aimed
tone
at?
series.
Like, what kind of?
It's that really transparent, dynamic kind of. You want a clean tone on your amplifier, maybe even a Fender amp type thing, and you just want to add those ripples of kind of flavour, so that as you dig into the guitar, your amp sort of goes, oh, and then as you pull back a bit, you know, your amp cleans right up again.
Sounds good.
Great pedal, big fan of this one. So here's just a straight clean tone. That's perfect. And again, just fiddle around really. I'll just dial this in and you can.
That's great.
Great. So just show like some real dynamics in there of just how the pedal will clean right up through being sort of picked soft, and then how you can dig in and sort of give it some.
Okay. Well, I mean, like, because we've split the coil down, so you got that kind of Fender-y coil split thing. But yeah, dynamically that. That's all picked soft.
Yeah.
Oh, Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that's one of my favourite. I'm not entirely sure that the like the sort of the candy floss kind of
It doesn't really give it
graphics
away,
kind of, but
Deceptive.
in terms of tone, it's one of my favourites.
So what about if we chuck it on a humbucker bridge position?
Yeah, do it.
It's got more of a classic rock tone, hasn't it?
I haven't touched the pedal or the amplifier, and you've gone from crystal clean to pushed to quite heavily overdriven, just through the pickup selection and the way you're picking the guitar, which I think is the kind of the point of this pedal. You know,
It's great.
I mean, let's just a reference tone. That's what we had.
So. Oh, lovely.
It's my favourite one. You just play. What's my favourite tunes that you play? Can you play something sort of on a single coil sound? In fact, maybe with that Strat, sort of John Mayery or something like that, because I love that sort of thing. And then I can just sit here and sort of go to sleep for 5 minutes, just enjoying things.
That I can do for you, Lee. I can give it my best.
I love working with these guys. They're just professional. There we are.
Wow.
So that's a sweet cream. So that's probably one of my favourites. So before what should we do next? You've got the bizarrely named Mandragora, or the slightly more obviously named tape machine.
And these are all the same price?
They're all the same price, I think, except the tape machine and I think perhaps the chorus. So everything's 39 quid.
Oh my God.
And the tape machine I think is 49 quid and the chorus might be 45 pounds.
I mean, I sit out there pretty much all day with headphones on listening to these two. And when they did these pedals earlier, I was like, wow. I mean, they just sound really top notch. Like, and you just don't think that for 39 quid, well, for particularly the sort of tube screamers and distortion and things like that, it costs that little for that sort of quality.
It is a dilemma, really, because I kind of, half of me is like totally blown away by the fact that these are 39 quid and excited about the fact that I'm sure Andertons will sell loads of them. And then the other half of me kind of goes, how are we supposed to sell like, £99 pedals now and £199 pedals?
Yeah.
It's like when some of these brands are just like, I mean,
well, it's just the way of the world, Lee. Way of the world.
I suppose it is. Anyway, look, let's move on. Let's do the tape machine. So put the amp on standby.
I think you also made that point earlier, but we're trying to use a clean tone for the majority, because it doesn't matter what amp you have. Most amps have a half decent clean tone, whether it's solid state or a valve or hybrid or whatever. So hearing these pedals with that kind of application is a good representation of what you'll get when you buy one of these.
So this is the tape machine, as the name sort of gives away. It's a kind of a analogy tape echo kind of vibe. It hasn't got the sort of delay length that you might expect on a digital pedal, but it has got that nice sort of squelchy kind of repeat. So here we go. Let's just, you can play some stuff. So if I put this onto its longest, you can see what the most sort of spacey kind of echo
I
is.
love tape delay. That's a great feeling delay.
So that's its longest. That's what I'm saying. You'll get if you need a longer delay than that, then go and look at some digital pedals. But something like this is still good for most kind of guitar tunes.
Yeah.
So it hasn't got any of the kind of funky features that you might expect on a dearer pedal, like tap tempo or a visual display of how fast it's going to be. I just think it sounds great and it's not very expensive.
How does
That's
there you go.
Yeah.
So,
So
it's
you want
you
to
can turn the
slap
repeat. That's really intense, isn't it?
If you want that kind of 50s style slapbacky kind of thing, these are perfect for that kind of thing.
You could also do the. You could do the whole Flight of the Wind in Bumblebee.
So that's that. So the last one in the range is the Mandragora, which is a heavy, well, I say heavy, I think it's a fairly heavy driven guitar tone. I can't quite remember.
I like the name.
Yeah, it's the coolest name by a mile, isn't it?
Mandragora.
What is Mandragora? Is that a flower?
I've no idea. It sounds like a metal band.
I think it's a half man, half dragon.
Mandragora.
Mandragora. It's a great name for a band if there isn't one already.
Sounds like some sort of massacre of a certain citrus fruit.
Does it?
I don't know, mandarin and gore.
Oh, I see.
That's terrible.
Terrible. Yeah, terrible. Keep it in there. So I can't remember whether this is going to sound great over a clean tone or a driven tone, but we'll find out shortly. And you may want to go back to your humbucker. Well, I don't know. Let's see what it is and we'll decide.
Oh, it's nice.
It's a weird one. There's 3 pedals in this range. The Mandragora, the Dry Martini, actually maybe just those 2, where I can't quite decide what the angle is. I mean, it's a sort of a fairly decent sounding drive sort of tone, but I wouldn't say that it's so subtly different to things like the sort of, it's just the Golden Plexi or whatever. So I don't really know that we're going to be able to say, look, if you like this kind of music, you'll like this pedal. I think you've just got to really listen to the video demos that are out there and kind of go, do you know what, they're all in the same ballpark, but this is the one I just happen to prefer.
Well, then in that case, you could just leave it down to the colour. You were a man of purple.
Yes.
You a man of cream.
Shout! That's it. Yes, ignore the tone. Just choose the colour you like the best. So I'd like to hear this with the PRS, and just because it's going to have a bit more drive. It's a good job we've got lots of hangers in this place.
It's great, isn't it? You just throw a guitar away and it lands on a hook. Right.
And then so we'll try it with a bit of clean, and then we'll try it with a bit of crunch. So here's a reference tone.
It's pretty good.
It's good, isn't it? I mean, again, it's well, you say.
I was just going to say, like, it feels nice to... The thing I've noticed about all these pedals is they feel nice to play. You know, sometimes you get distortions and whatever, or overdrives that just don't... They're either really too much gain or they don't really feel that nice, but these are great.
What I'm noticing with all of these is that none of the controls have really got a pointless extreme to them. So, that, you know, there are some pedals where you go, look, really, you know, if that's 12 o'clock, all the usable sounds are kind of like that, and then anything more than that's just, like, pointless.
And they blend really well with a clean signal, which is always something I look for in a stomp, any kind of tube scream or whatever, because I hate when you can just hear this clean tone underneath and then there's a pedal sat on top trying to make it sound good, whereas that... You know, it's nicely blended together, but if we could put it on a...
Yeah, put it on a... Just pull it out a little bit. So this is our... And I'll back the gain down a bit and just see what happens. So this is a...
Crunch.
Yeah. Has that riff, has that got a name yet, that song?
I just made it up on the spot.
Well, from now on it shall be known as Mandragora.
There you go.
Is that song's name? Mandragora.
New single coming out soon from Deux.
Good man. All right, well, look, there you go. I'll put a link in the description below where you can find out about these. As I said, in the first video we did, there's a few more pedals that we covered and we talk a little bit more about who Tone City are and all that kind of stuff. I will just recap by saying these are unbelievably affordable, and because they're so tiny, we can ship these all around the world incredibly cheaply. So in the UK it's free shipping, next day free shipping. In Europe, shipping is anything from about £2 to £5 depending on where you live. And even if you live in like Australia or the United States, again shipping is still only about £10 or £15. So why not buy 3? Because then the shipping is not per pedal, it's for the whole order.
Wow.
See?
I mean,
Anyway.
my complete, honest, 100% opinion on this range of pedals, from what I've heard today, is genuinely like well worth the money, an absolute steal for the money. Like, I already said to Lee earlier, can I have a few? I'm going to get some. I'm going to buy and get some of these. I really like that one.
Yeah.
I think this one.
That had a bit of growl, didn't it?
And that on the Crunch channel just now for a rhythm tone was really usable.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hats off.
Well, I think it's cool because both you and Rob are having to fly to the States, aren't you? And so you're both reconsidering your boards because you can't, you don't want to fly. Because how big is your board for a normal Dorje gig?
It's the Pedal Train Pro, so it's huge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, which of course, if you're going to fly with that, it would have to go into the hold, and you may have to pay excess baggage and all that kind of stuff. So I think there's very much this desire to kind of get your board down to something that is almost could go in your suitcase. Anyway, look. Enough about Tone City pedals. I've been the captain.
I've been Rabia.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Somebody throw a plectrum. Hang on. Oh, shot! Beat that, chappers. It's all British.